What's up, everybody? I'm Energy.
I'm Chi.
I'm Rochelle.
And this is Therapy, Not Therapy. A podcast about our thoughts, our dreams,
and everything in between.
Dealing with our feelings and spiritualities.
So come meet us at the table every week where we unpack all of the things. So can we talk about it?
What's up, everybody? It's welcome back.
Hi.
This is Therapy, Not Therapy. As you can see, we're missing one of our people in the flesh today.
In the flesh.
Chelle has to be out. She'll get into that a little bit more.
For the second time.
It's okay though. So we have a little depiction of her that we put together. The hair is working. Okay.
She's here.
She's here.
She's living.
You may have seen her on the stories. The hair got more voluminous since then.
We have
Yes.
And she got a bayang. But we will make sure that we get that up as well.
Say hey, Chelle.
Hey, say hey, Chelle.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
I wish we can get a zoom in of his face.
Yes.
So we can see.
Yes. Give me a still. I need a still. Like an abrupt picture interruption on that part, Pete. Okay, just a
Just a pause.
Yeah,
Just a pause and a...
let me serve.
We'll like take a picture of it and crop it so we can fill the frame.
Yes.
And make it
This is my modeled pose.
cute. Body.
And hold.
Bodies.
Body.
So what? This is episode 3?
Yes,
This is episode
season
3.
3, episode 3.
3.
And
And the
we're
third one
back.
is not there, but she's here.
It's we're just gonna make it through. We're gonna do the best that we can. Hey y'all, thank you for joining us. If you haven't seen us before or heard us before, I am Energy.
I'm Chi.
And I'm Chelle.
And Chelle. You'll see her. Look at previous episodes. You can actually visualize and see them because we're on the YouTubes.
But
We told y'all last week.
I definitely feel like this is it.
I think that's great.
This is enough.
Yeah.
This is giving.
I think that's
everything.
giving.
Yeah. We're giving.
We need to get like one of those paper stands so whenever one of us is out, it can hold our sketch.
Right? I know, we can just tape them up and they can just sit.
Just sit.
Just sit. But yes, please find us on YouTube.
Yes.
We made it extra cute and gave our visuals some extra pop so y'all can enjoy the aesthetics while getting the
And
message.
we want y'all to follow and subscribe, okay? And I just want to
Yes.
shout out, we got our first new follower today. So I want to shout her out.
Ooh.
So Ashley Beckwith, thank you for
Thank you,
subscribing.
Ashley. You're
to
the
Therapy,
first
Not Therapy. You're the first one that's not us, because the rest of them makes us.
Because we love ourselves.
We do, and we support. But thank you, Ashley, for subscribing. And the rest of you can do the same. Go to YouTube, search for TNT Podcast. You know, we need all the subscribers so we can get an official handle on these YouTubes.
Absolutely.
And everywhere else online, you can find us at TNTPODJAX. You can send us emails at tntpodjacks@gmail.com. Follow us on the socials.
We accepting DMs.
You know what?
It's
Yeah, because
open,
it's been
yeah.
fine. It's been good, but don't make us close it back.
Please.
Don't do it. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, help us bring it in.
Yeah.
'Cause it's been.
So this is the beauty, because I feel like
I feel disheveled. I feel like it's my fault. I'm sorry. I don't feel ready because it's like the residual stress.
Okay, so this is the beautiful thing about us here at TNT. We are very we improvise a lot because life is an improv, right? Life is all about improv. It's how you move, how you instinctually respond and react, and when it comes to life. So we don't really schedule, like, we have clipboards, but we're also very transparent and very real, very honest.
Fluid.
Yes, and sometimes our subjects have switched last minute because we felt like one was more fitting than the other. So today's episode, we wanted to talk about stress.
Because what other catalyst for therapy?
Stress, right? And when you think about stress, it's like, it could be something as really small as like traffic, and something really big as shingles. Okay.
Which is what we are dealing with.
The mic is a little high, baby.
The mic is high.
Okay. So, so with that being said, the reason why our sweet third member, Rochelle, is not here is because, due to stress, she has manifested shingles. And we thought, what else could we talk about?
Right.
What else?
Because it's so present, and this is our first time.
Yeah.
Like my first time for sure being around somebody that's like dealing with it for real. Like I've only ever seen it on television or you know long ass commercials where they talking to you about whatever medication they want you to take for shingles.
Yeah.
And it sounds really terrible, but seeing Chelle go through this
is crazy.
Has been crazy, and it developed so quickly. You know, it went from like 0 to 100, nigga, real quick.
From
like
bug bite to it's all over the
like what the fuck
everything.
is happening?
Yeah.
So we want to talk about that because I mean everybody experiences stress. You know, there's actually stresses that can, you know, be good for you, that can help to motivate you, but a lot of times stress is something that goes unchecked and it leads to some things that are really dangerous, some things that can be really detrimental.
Absolutely.
You know, heart disease is the number one killer of Black women, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and all of that. I mean, there's definitely genetics, there's diet, all those things, but a lot of that, the bulk of that roots down to stress and lifestyle and managing that stress and processing it. And so it's really important. All of us deal with it. Not always does it stay in check because they know I'll be done blowing up the whole group chat screaming into the voice memo. But you know, sometimes that's just how you gotta process.
That do be.
You know, I try not to.
Y'all two really be like, listen.
Because you just get so full and then it literally erupts. And now poor Chelle is like dealing with it actually, you know, manifesting and erupting in her flesh.
Yes. So Chelle, please.
Yes, please. Because we don't have any church announcements, do we? Does anybody have anything coming up?
Well, Chelle, do you have any announcements?
No.
Okay. My only announcement today was Free Palestine. That was the only announcement I had.
Facts.
Especially, so as Black and brown women, we are very transparent and upfront about the oppression that we deal with on the daily basis and what our people deal with on a daily basis. But I think it's important to remember our brown brothers and sisters that are struggling with what's happening over in Palestine right now, because they undergo a lot of the same. They got to undergo a lot of oppression from the same powers that oppress us, and it's important to recognize and acknowledge the pain that they are also enduring, because it's on a level that's so magnified that we are very blessed to not experience, and they are experiencing right now.
Right.
So you know, some of my closest friends are Palestinian and they struggle, you know, and they're having a really, really hard time. So it's real. It's happening in real lifetime. You know, when you turn off the TV, it's still going on. People are really worried about their families over there. Yeah. So I just wanted to vocally express my solidarity to my Palestinian brothers and sisters, because we are not free until Palestine is free. So that's all I had.
And I encourage empathy with that as well, because I know it's very easy, like you said, to turn off the television and to disconnect. But think about how uncomfortable we've been in this cushy ass, spoiled ass country over the last year and a half with some real shit that's going on. And yes, it's scary, but it's nothing compared to what these people are having to go through and have been going through, because this shit is not new. This shit is like generational. You hear me? So just exercise that compassion. Don't think, well, it's not happening to me, so it doesn't matter. It's like, no, you know, and if you wonder what you can do, just educate yourself. That can be enough.
Do your research. If you don't know what's happening, I suggest that you look it up and become informed, because, you know, as long as I've been in activism, Palestinians have always been our allies, and we've always worked, you know, activists, Black and Palestinian activists have always worked together and supported one another, and this is one of those things that we have to continue that solidarity from one another through when we're going through it, when they're going through it. It's just, you know, it's all a part. We're all a part of the same. So educate yourself, inform yourselves. There's ways that you can help.
Just by bringing awareness. Look how many things changed, or how much the needle shifted for a lot of the things that were happening in this country, because you know, something as common to us as Black Lives Matter and the things that go on with that movement. We see that every day, but there were people all over the world protesting in tandem with us, and they didn't have to. You know, of course there are Black and brown lives all over the world, but for the most part, that was an American movement, and people around the world gave a shit. So there are things that you can do that don't necessarily have to cost you money. It might cost you a little bit of time, and it might cost you a little bit of discomfort to have to see those images, or put yourself in the place of the lives that these people are living. But that's what being a human being is about.
And it's very real.
It's very real.
Very, very real. So that was the only announcement I had, honestly. Because I wanted Rochelle, I wanted you to get a chance to talk about this. I think it was
Yeah.
perfect. It's a perfect segue into what we were talking about.
Because we're not going to keep her too long
Yeah.
today, because one of the side effects of what she's going through too is just fatigue and pain in the areas, and part of that is, you know,
Her neck.
the neck and throat, and it can be really uncomfortable. So you know, we wanted to give her the space to talk about what she's going through, like she said, and just to kind of give us a side of that experience, as far as, you know, not just experiencing stress as a person that experiences stress, but actually having it manifest in this way.
Yes.
So yeah, Chelle, go ahead.
Well, before I even tap into that, I just loved everything y'all said, because I found myself, you know, the exact same way with what Black Lives Mattering. Like, you never know what you can do or how you can do it until you just feel that spark.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I remember just Chi posting a video, and I looked into it just off that one. It's someone that I know that's posting something that's very informative. Even if I don't know, like, I'm gonna look into it.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see that video, immediately I want to post it on my community page, because the first thing I thought about is unity. Like, we talk about community and unity.
Yep.
However, like, how can you really show if you're not even sharing, you know, the same care about your space in other places?
Absolutely.
Like, I can't imagine, like, and when I posted on my page, the actual page, it was like a prayer. And I was probably like the time before my shingles had started. And it was something in me where it's like, where you feel like in need of something, like an angst or a will, like, you pray for yourself, you could pray for like everybody else.
Yes.
So it's like, seeing that take place, it's like, you know, like what we were talking about off air, it was just like, where we are at, as far as in the United States, like, you know, no tea, no shade, but it's the truth. But like,
Yes.
they're legit going through some like real world ass,
And
like,
we are very spoiled.
bombs, and we're just sitting here
In
complaining
some
about
aspects.
wearing masks. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
Right.
so I just, as we talk about stress, like, and even for myself, it's like, dang, like, not taking away from my obligations and what could make me flare up,
Mm-hmm.
make me stressful, or, you know, not taking away from the problems I deal, but it's just like seeing something as
Yes.
big as what's going on the other side of the world.
Yes.
It makes you think about your stress.
Yes.
Like, is it really worth stressing? Because look at
Yes.
someone else, and look how someone else is being affected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could really dive in deep. I'm gonna just say that even right now, this is still fresh, so I already know I'm gonna get a lot more, you know, deposited by the end of this, you know, week, because that's technically when the meds are over. But even when this whole thing process out, like, I know so much more is gonna be put into my spirit. But I do know right now I'm at a place where it's like, is it really worth the stress?
Right.
Like, the biggest thing that caught my attention
Mm-hmm.
was, as y'all know, I had recently put a piece for La Villa for the Modern Ensemble,
It
and
was beautiful.
it was stressful.
It was beautiful, but stressful.
but it was good stress though. Like,
Yeah.
this is what caught my attention, and this is what I want to really want to share, because we talked about it with depression and everything, but high functioning stress, performance, bitch. Like, listen, like,
the same one.
me, like, I felt like I got so used to working in high stress, and I think my body was just like, oh, we can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the way I carried stress when I was like in my mid-20s to where I'm about to be 35, I can't do the same. And it clearly showed, like, it popped up in a way where it's like physically here, like, girl, can you sit down?
Can you
Yeah.
sit
Can you
down?
not?
Yeah.
And I think for me, what really got my attention was when I was in the hospital, because before me and Shirley left, I told her, I was like, you know, and I'm on the part with the 4 agreements where it says do not assume. So I was like, I don't want to assume none of it. Like, I just want to know what it is. Like, I don't want to sit here and try to make do at home, trying to like nurse this when I don't even know what I'm taking care of. So I was like, I need to know what this is, because what's bothering me is not the fact that this is happening, it's I don't know what it is.
Right.
And when I don't know what it is, I can't address it. I can't figure out how to bring a solution to. Like, I can't. And that's very much in life. Like, a lot of people don't want to deal with the problem. They just want a quick solution. But it's like, how can you get a solution if you don't even know what the problem is or what's the cause of it? You know what I mean? Like, so for me to feel myself sitting in that position of, as I'm reading this part of the book, I was like, bitch, I don't want to assume anything else. I need to know exactly what this is. And to sit at the hospital, hearing the doctor tell me, like, this is cause of stress. Now, what I've learned is that if you had the chickenpox before, you're more susceptible to this because the viral can actually it could like hide in your body for years. And until, I guess in this case, you stress yourself to the point you wake it up and it's like, hey, I'm here, like stress in the building.
That's the part that's crazy, I think.
That I sat on the bed looking shocked, like, bro, I can't blame nobody else but me. Like everything else can happen around me.
Wow. But you cannot. Let's do this.
That it was like I allowed myself to either carry the stress without knowing or get any type of connection with stress.
Yeah.
I allowed it to take such a toll on my body to where it manifested in a way that it's just like, dude, I can't even look myself in the mirror. Right. And when I do, I just feel so sad because I'm just like, and not like, oh my gosh, I'm so ugly. I mean, of course that crossed my mind, but it's just like, girl, what is happening? Like, I just want to like hug myself right now because I'm just like, oh my God, like I've never in my whole entire life been through anything like this. And I don't wish this on nobody. So like, I just knew that I was telling the ladies that I was like, even P, I was, because he's not the lady, but we were but I was like, I want to at least unpack my bag and bounce because I was like, people need to know. I was already saying this on my Instagram page. I was like, every time I go through something, and I've already quoted this for my life, it's like, I don't mind being the person, and I don't air, I don't mind being the person going through this shit. But however, you answer to that, it's like, okay,
right,
are you really do that? And I'll tell you this, me going through this, if I'm here going through something, y'all best believe I'm gonna let y'all know so that y'all won't go through it, because this is not the business. Like for myself, like even Shirley was like, next time, I say, there ain't gonna be no next time.
Right. Period. We're not doing this again.
Claim it.
I'm not doing this again. So with the bag, I can't even describe my bag. I think it's a mixture of, I think I'm emptying it out. Yes. Honestly, like I just found myself taking my bag, getting rid of stuff that I just don't really need to carry. Like, don't need to be bothered by, don't need to be held down by, don't need to, whatever layers don't pertain to me, like to release it. And that, I feel like it's going to happen with the process of the healing of the shingles.
Yes.
Like, so
your body is purging and telling you that you need to do the same. And it might be painful.
I really took that. I was like, and then, of course, on top of that, I'm going to be in my period. So I'm like, okay, great. Lady Day.
Your body is letting go of everything.
I'm like, girl, this is just so much.
This
is like, you are Chevy Chase in the middle of St. Louis at night with his family with the tire slash. Like, he was really
in the ghetto.
Real in the middle. Asking for directions, and they stealing your hubcaps. Like, what are we doing? How did we get here? But
how did we get here?
I was gonna say though, I just want to commend you though, because I know there was a time, and only because I'm your sister, so I've seen you. I know there was a time where you really were functioning in stress, right? And I think when you grow up kind of in an unorthodox situation, you become accustomed to high stress.
Yes.
And it's like almost like normal. Because I mean, like, even
it's
like
comfortable.
Yeah, like even like
how else am I supposed to function? What do you mean?
Yeah, like and just full transparency, like me and Rochelle were foster kids. That's stressful as it is.
Yeah.
So I think very early on, you and I have our idea of what stress looks like. May have been extremely compromised. So by the time like you're in your mid-20s, moving real fast. Like, you don't recognize. You're just like, okay, bet. Boom,
it's just
like,
your way.
This is what we know. This is everything we know. So I just want to commend you for really recognizing and doing the work that you need to do to see what you can do moving forward. Because I know, like, your spirit and your heart is there. Like, everything is there. But I think it was interesting because when we talked the other day, you were saying how you didn't realize, like, where your stress was going.
Yeah.
Even though it was worked out, because Rochelle gonna pray about it.
Yeah.
She gonna get it off her soul. You know what I'm saying? Rochelle's she's gonna process and do the work. But it's like the fact that it was still manifesting physically it's like, okay, there's a whole other part of this element that I'm missing.
Right.
And I think it's very it's really I don't even want to say it's noble, but I just think it's admirable to see you take a step back, even when you're like, okay, something's not right. But like sharing it so that other people can see where they may be doing that for themselves, you know? And like I said, because it also shows your growth, because, you know, you were functioning in there all right, but for you to say this is not happening, we're not doing this, that's really that's something.
No, we can't. And what for those who do or don't know me, I mean, what I like to do, especially I think as a creative, but more so like in what I do is in dance, like I think it's so important to have like a knowing, not just in the physical but spiritual and emotional. Like, and so for me, you know, as I grew to know with my gift of dance, it's like we store things in our body. So you guys already know, I was like, as soon as this started happening, I was like, okay, even as Google, I'm like, okay, what does mean emotional, what does relate to, what chakra, what is it? I was already like on it. And to believe it or not, I didn't really find much. I had to really research. So I was trying to find what I had posted on my story, but it was connected to is what I had read you, and it was everything you had just said. Like it really does start when you know your growing age is, and that's where you first experience what you can tolerate, what you won't tolerate. And they said people that deals with shingles emotionally have dealt with things being poured on them and functioning in that. And so for me, I think it's very interesting that like you said, the work that we all do, you know, but in this case, and just speaking for self, like the work that I have been doing, it's not a coincidence that I'm sitting here experiencing this. And again, I'll be turning 35. There are things that I just refuse. Oh, girl. I just bent over and holding my eyebrow like, who?
Yeah. but I was gonna say, Rochelle, real quick, I want you to touch on this because I know you were saying when you were speaking about just about how stress gets put on you. But do you mind speaking on about the stress that you've taken, like how the pattern of taking on stress? Because we talked about that too, and I felt like that was very pivotal. It was really really honest of you to say that, and I think a lot more of us do that than we'd like to admit. You know, as much as we're like, I'm protecting my energy, but it's very, we give ourselves away like very easily at the same time.
Are you protecting your energy or are you avoiding?
You know, and I've done it. I think we're all like, especially when you're empathic, it's easy to find yourself in the position of like, oh no,
I used to resign myself to being an emotional sponge. I was saying that in like middle and high school because I recognize that I'm like, I am absorbed or consumed by something that ain't even me. Like, I don't know what the hell this is. And you know, I've had to do the work to you know, erect that energetic bubble so that doesn't just happen to me. Right. You know, when it happens, it's usually my fault. Because I opened the door, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't check the bags, you know what I'm saying? I didn't make them go through the emotional, like, metal detector. You just bring in sharp, toxic objects into my space. But that's me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So not to take over, Chelle, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts about that. But I'm just saying I touch and agree. Yes. Because I've been there.
Yeah. And it was real. It was very real when I get lost there
sometimes too. Like, bitch, how did we get in this room?
Yeah. I think, and I'm going to say this real quick so you could take it back, Chelle. When we were talking the other day, I thought that was real because we were just talking about like how she's stressed, you know, her stress. But then she also pointed out how she's taken other people's stress. And I was like, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Especially when you're selfless. Yes. When you, in your work, Rochelle, you work in the community, you work with other people and other entities. And you're also a very active member. I think we all are in our respective, spaces. So, especially with dominant Gemini traits, hello, this is crazy. Okay, just saying, your rising is screaming at all of us. At all of us. And mine is like, okay, girl, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna shut up because I'm about to be right there with you. But yes, can you please elaborate on that for me? Because I think it's important for the people to know what that was like for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go all up and down because that's pretty much where I'm at right now. But I will start with just saying, the first important thing was to look in self and to know, like, okay, what is it that you're doing? How are you contributing?
Yes.
Because it's not, you can't blame outward. That's not going to work. Like I'm going to reiterate, I was on the bed and was like, so I'm the cause of me being here today. Like, it's not the kids. It's not COVID. I mean, these play roles in contributing to me having stress, which is okay. Yeah. It's nothing wrong with you having stress, but it's the way you allow any emotion to take on your physical body. And when it comes to me being a dancer,
facts, man.
like,
I'm here.
Weird.
I'm
sorry. When you see this video show, you're gonna just crack up because me and G are rocking really hard. We're just like,
I believe. I'll be too. If I was in y'all shoes, I'll be rocking too. Because it's real. That's just real. I'm gonna say it again. I do not wish this on nobody. Like, so physically, body, me, I dance. When we dance, we store things into our bodies. Right. So like, to me, I'm immediately like, okay, this side though, because they have a specific spot of where they break out. That's how I ended up wanting to know more about why am I breaking out in this specific area, because it's like my left side.
Your area's not even common, I don't think.
My neck, yeah. It's just like, what is this? But when I just, through honest conversations, like really reevaluating my patterns, like, and you'll know when you're reprogramming because you come up against a file that don't fit. Like, it's like,
wow.
Say it again.
I almost hung up the phone. We're not doing that.
Oh my God.
I almost hung up the phone. Like, I almost reached over and just said, Rochelle, shut up. Shut up.
Oh my God.
Girl, hold on. Stop. I'm trying to calm.
I'm sorry, because that was a word. Please say it again.
Yes. It's kind of like, I don't even think I could just say it as good as I did, but basically the data is old. It's old, child. You gotta get rid of the file.
Yes.
And I think for me,
it's just corrupt.
Like, speaking to the computers and healthcare girl in me
taking up all kinds of space.
I feel like I honestly started from the very first episode. Like, I feel like ever since acknowledging like the leftover, the residue of this stank behind trauma tree, like seeing it in my living room, it's like, okay. And I just feel like I've been personally, I think as we're all pilgrims in the passing. We're all going through journeys, witnessing each other on our journeys. And I think y'all witnessing me letting go a part of something that really obviously has been taking a toll on my life.
Yes.
Like, even from the church ministry, the performance or ministry, like, to hear someone say, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, for me, it's like, I don't know. And I don't know, that just kind of played a role when even with me going to the hospital. Like, and again, in the chapter of the 4 agreements about do not assume, it was like, in this assumed position, why are you guessing if you should just go? Like,
I'm so glad you called me, by the way, when you did.
Girl, I called you and mommy. I was crying because when I tell you I grazed the one on the back of my neck, and I was like, I got scared because that's when I knew, because it got bigger. And I was like, what? Yeah. Like, what is this? Yeah. It's like, oh my God. And I was like, okay. And it's so crazy because with stress, it's like when you know what it is and you know how to go about it, but yet you go in circles of how would you go about it?
Right.
Like, it's repeated cycle, like circling mental decision that you just go through, and it's like you never reach to the actual decision. You just keep gearing in the mind over and over and over.
Why are you trying to get hung up on, Rochelle? This is
don't
stop dragging us.
Don't.
Like,
God damn.
You know, I'm like, bitch, you want to fight? Like, you're so loud. You're loud.
I need love. I don't want to fight.
No, you're really,
you're tapping home. That shit is
it's on point.
Striking many chords.
Very, very, very on point.
They ain't nothing but the spirit. The spirit's telling y'all, look.
Girl, that's all you got. You ain't got no, look, your body is out of commission.
Okay, my body is out. Okay, malfunction. She's out of order. Spirit is here to tell y'all, if y'all don't take care of this stress, do not put on your body. You will.
Yeah.
If you had the chicken pox before, you can stretch yourself to the point where you can physically manifest. It's not just shingles, it's with everything. Think about every ache and pain and body that you feel like every single day. If your ankles hurt, your knees hurt, if your toes hurt, your shoulders hurt, you carry emotions in your body every single day. It's not just in your mind, it is in your body. It is literally how you want to throw your arm, how do you want to strut down the street, how do you want to poke out your chest. That's your feelings. They're not just things that felt. They're like your physical leather like bodysuit. Like they're there.
I was gonna
like what I'm experiencing right now is on the nerves.
Yes.
I describe my body like a house. Right now, the nerves is the electric circuit. That shit is needing to be rewired. That thing
ma'am.
So your whole house gonna burn down.
Or it's gonna burn down, but we're upgrading.
We're
upgrading now. We're rewiring.
Had to be rewired. We had to shut down, put a little tent over it.
Gotta be an electrician. Okay, gotta be an electrician. We're renovating.
Listen,
because a heart is a house full of, and I've learned that it don't take much to break my heart. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That's a gospel.
And that trauma does not need to be there because if it's a house full of love, that love pushed out that trauma, that pushed out the stress, that pushed out the problems.
Yes, ma'am. I was gonna say it was really powerful that you said that because a lot of times what tends to ache when we're stressed spiritually points to something, and I think a lot of people don't realize, like, you know, when we talk about like, and your neck means this, and your hips mean that, and your feet mean this. People don't realize how our body is really connected to our emotions. And I don't think a lot of men realize it either.
Oh no.
Why do you think they're so stiff?
Right. And I experienced that when I was teaching yoga. Like,
the hips,
girl, they don't want to.
Can't do a forward fold to save their lives.
The pride, everything, like their back,
the
knees, like, and I found myself in situations like trying to help them or guide them, and I'd be like, you know what this represents, and I think there's just an overall like miseducation on that. Like we feel like, oh, my head is my head, like da. When it's all connected. When one thing is out, it's all out. And the other ones might be running, but like you said, Rochelle, your electrical circuit is out. So when that is out, the whole house is, you know what I'm saying? There's not much functioning that happens.
There's
you know what I'm saying?
some systems that you can't afford to shut down.
Right. So you're luckily, you know what I'm saying, a house don't completely die when the lights go out.
Thank God.
You know what I'm saying? Is you there. Right. However, you've got some shortages. So I just that was good, girl. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Girl, ain't nothing but the spirit.
Why your spirit be a nightlight? Come on, flashlights,
glow in the dark,
lanterns,
candles, oil lamps,
incense.
Come on, just on the perch, just that.
Come on, why's your house glowing with candles, girl?
Because I just touched one of them. Damn it.
I love you so much.
And you know what? It felt like a gel. Like the fuck.
I really hope they. So I'm gonna ask this real quick. There's no way to, and I feel like this is gonna be one of those deep answers, but like, there's no way to speed up that process, is there?
To be honest, I don't think that there is a way for it to be speed up. However, I am doing everything in my power to educate and just to check in to see what can I do, what should I not be doing. Like, you know, I've had one person, and this is another thing, when you go through something, someone else has gone through it and they may not have shared it, but they'll share it with you. So there's been a couple of people in my DMs that's like, yo, like, I've actually went through this last year, or yo, I've experienced this before, used this, or, you know, before they even knew it was shingles, they were like, because I was like, was it Dove? Was it the seafood possible thing? Like the oil? Or
I know you was like, I twisted my hair.
You know, right? I used a new cream, like a cream that I haven't touched in a while. Like, what is it? And I was just trying to figure it out. But it was nice to see, again, like, unity in people. Like, people was like, yo, I've been through this, and suggesting certain like body wash or ointments or whatever to use. So it's like, I've had people just come out and just threw out some suggestions for me. Like, you know, one of them was like, some people say you want to keep it, of course, dry, or don't put ointment on it until, nasty to say, until the blister pop. It's like, oh, I got to go through that. So it's just like, I could go off of that, but my body's my body. Because already before this, Rochelle was already having moments with little bug bites. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My body is just sensitive. And I
Your own
guess
personal experience.
as we,
Yeah.
as we
very
do get older, we get sensitive too. So
Yeah. I think that, but I feel like that's a testament because your skin, like what your skin spiritually represents, and how, how you wear it and how sensitive it is. I feel like it's a testament to you. I think that's why it's important for you to make sure that you establish the boundaries that you need.
Yeah.
Because of the work you do.
Yes.
And because of how selfless you are.
Yes.
And because of where you move from. You know what I mean? Like, when you're not just like a regular teacher. Like, you really sought out to give wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, while you are this very strong person, you're also very sensitive. And I don't mean like sensitive. I mean like you're sensitive. A lot of light workers are sensitive. Like, we are just sensitive.
Heightened senses.
Heightened. We are just and I feel like your skin is really showing you that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because every time, girl, your skin be coming with a whole lesson. Like, every time you got something. So I feel like I feel like this is a reflection of that for you. And I just I wish I could give you a hug right now.
I know.
Because it just...
I think that's the saddest thing too, is when I was talking to mom, she was like, yeah, you can't be around Aura because, she's so young and she hasn't,
had her
chicken pox and stuff. And I was like, okay, of course I'm going to be around her. But I'm like, oh, that super sucks. Like, I can't hold my niece. And it's on the side where I would normally carry her too. So I'm just like, I'm really
that's
bummed.
I'll be blowing you up with her. So you can see
Girl, yeah, I appreciate it. But I want to share this word though, that on Saturday, what's her name? Prayer. I think she passed her preacher, but that lady there, she said it was all about being a personality. And that hit me so hard because
she gave a word. She dropped a word at that.
Was that her talking in that voice?
Yeah, oh. I think it was her.
Rochelle, was that who you shared in the voice memo?
I think it was.
Okay.
If she sounded bougie and ghetto and country, yes.
It looked like such a really great...
It turned out really well.
Yeah.
This was the Ladies' Day event that we were talking about last week at my mother's church. Shout out, Mommy. You did a great job.
Love you, Mama. I really got to bring Order to meet your mama, girl.
You really,
we
need to listen. We'll talk about that during the break.
Okay.
Mama
Jen, I'm sorry. We coming.
She said she gonna start listening to the podcast. I don't know how I feel about it because I'm very transparent with my mommy, but I don't talk to her like this. So.
I think she, honestly, because your mom, we all together, she act like she one of the girls.
That's true.
And she kiki with us.
She do kiki. She do. But so Saturday was great. To lead into what Rochelle was talking about, everything turned out well, and the speaker that came through, I believe it's Miss Prayer. Reverend Prayer B. Johnson. I think she was fantastic. She delivered a word. And let me just say, because I know Chelle is not going to say this about herself, but her dance. And shout out to Cheryl's Merles, because Shirley came through with the crump, and Chelle came through with like the praise contemporary modern. And
her praise, Rochelle's praise.
Listen, I don't know if you could hear me crying in the video that I sent you, but the minute I'm trying to hold this damn phone steady, just trying to have a whole moment. I'm like, oh my God, they were fantastic. So I just want to say that. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for sharing. The congregation loved it. It was fantastic.
I'm so happy that y'all can do that. And I was gonna say, Rochelle, when we go on our first break, I'm gonna show Jihan your students.
Yes.
And what was really funny, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but I was like crying again, showing it to mom. And I was just like, girl, like, get it together, Raquel. And mommy looked back at me, she was like, and I was like, I'm sorry, it just was so good. It was so good. So, but I want to say, I was telling mom, because mom was like, she's stressed. She was, kind of trying to unpack the stress thing for you. Like, what was she stressed about? Kind of like that. And I was like, let me show you, like, what she did. And I was like, Rochelle was so stressed about this, but it came out so beautiful. And I was like, I want you to see the testament to her stress. Yes. I said, it manifested this way. So beautiful. Like, girl, like it was the feeling that was in that room, G, when those kids did that piece, it was so bomb. And I think it was because it was really the one piece that you saw them like be free or like themselves. It's kind of really interesting. Like from the clothes that they wore. And don't get me wrong, like it was a really good show.
Yeah.
Because the modern pieces, the ballet pieces, all of it was phenomenal. but it was the energy of Rochelle's piece.
Yeah.
And the amount of energy those teens gave it. And we were in the second part of the show, so we were kind of expecting a little tired. They'd been dancing, but they it was just amazing. And knowing that in the audience, Rochelle was like, girl, this hurts on the back of my neck. What is this? Knowing that she
gave all of that.
Yes, for this. And it was important for me to show Mom, because I was like, this is what that looks like.
Right.
And what's crazy is that we were just talking about that, me, you, and Pete. We were just talking about how people don't see the other side of being an artist. They just think about the content and how it looks. But they don't think about the extent that we would go to when it comes to our art. Yeah. And so, I grew out tears. I cried again. Just because I knew that.
I just teared up listening to that because, like, I feel like, and just to be completely transparent, like, for me, I honestly feel like between Saturday and La Villa, like that, last week, I feel like God was bringing me back, not bring me back, but it's like bring me forward into what I've already had. Yeah. And was just like, I don't know, like I said,
full
that
circle?
word on Saturday. Yeah.
It's giving full circle.
Yes.
Energy's been real full circle lately. I feel like it's
very full circle, because it was like, it was like definitely reminding you of what you were destined to be. Like, who you're supposed to be.
And so, almost through this.
So, like, you talking about this. Because you mentioned skin. And I tell you, when she preached about being who you are, because you're not going to fit in everywhere, but if you be who you are, like that, your personality is appointed to minister to other like different type of personalities. Like you are meant to preach to whoever you're supposed to preach. You're not meant to touch everybody, but you can.
That's what everybody wants to do.
You know what I mean? But
everybody wants to touch everybody.
Everybody.
How much stress does that cause?
That was. Let me tell you something. The biggest revelation and ease to me as a figure and as a spirit was me saying, I am out of order, basically. Like, I will not be able to provide dance classes. However, please check out Shake Culture Dance. Check out I Move You Move. Check out, like, just name drop people. Like, please go over here. Because right now, myself, Chelle, as in the midst, I can't do it at this moment. And the funny thing was, month of May was supposed to be my break month. Now, granted, I was like, it worked out perfectly, because from mid-April to mid-May was my time of developing that piece. Yeah. However, like, I guess this is my break, like right now, you know, even on Saturday, like I was dancing with these, like on me, like it hadn't fully blown up, but I was dancing with this. And I was telling Shirley, I was like, let me tell you something. I was like, the enemy will use anything to stop you from glorifying him. I was like, we're going to do this on Saturday. Like, if God allowed me to do all these things and allow me to experience the abundance that I have, then what makes you think I'm not going to worship and glorify him for giving me the abundance that I have right now? Like, I was like, I have to. And like, both me and Shirley are going through some stuff right now. We're not going to get more into detail about hers, but just knowing like what makes a person so powerful with their gift is knowing what they're going through behind it. And like that's what you caught in the picture of me looking at Shirley. It was like knowing like this woman is like physically battling too, but she's able to still come up front and really praise and worship or really just express with her art. And the same thing with myself. And I think with all of us, like even with how you and Pete was having a conversation about J. Cole, it's the reciprocated like feeling of like how far would you go with your gift? Like what are you willing to do with your gift, as well as what are you willing to not do because you have to carry the gift. And I feel like with me, like the one thing I told Shirley was it didn't feel like stress, because I remember that last day, which I mean, granted, you'd be stressed too. You'd be stressed just as stressed as me if you found out that you had to go in last day, the same day that you're reorganizing the pieces, the exact same day as their first showing. You'd be stressed too, like girl.
And it's your body of work. It's your representation.
It's my work.
it's
a
your
statement.
worth. Yeah.
Yes, like it's all the above. And so, but I felt so achieved because it required me to believe in myself. It required me to go with the gut instinct and flow, to not adjust to what I've already convinced myself what I was going to go and do. It was going in there strategically, and this is what came out on the other side.
Yes.
However, coming out on the other side and being in that bed, realizing that, I've learned how to function through high tense stress. I was like, I do not want to do that, which is also interesting because it makes me want to relate more to the students I have too. Because I've had students talk to me about their load in school. And of course, as a teacher, you just be like, you just need to know how to balance. But then experiencing this, it makes me think about my students and what they were trying to tell me, because it's the exact same thing as a teacher or a choreographer. You're still a student. How much workload are you going to take on yourself? How, are you going to give yourself room to breathe? You know what I mean? Now, there's a difference between you being lazy, you don't want to do work, or it's like, are you really piling on unnecessary stuff? Or are you not really prioritizing stuff? Are you not scheduling your things so that you can take on the task? Like, it's all those things. So I just say all that to say, with me freshly in this, y'all know I'm going to keep y'all updated, because it's just like, it's sharing is definitely caring. I would say this for the record: if you yourself as a person, knowing that you go off the handles with emotional responding to things, or if you're a physical person, or if you get stuck in your head, like however you react to stressful situations, I really do encourage you to take a moment to breathe and really ask yourself the exact amount of time that you give stress. Give that exact amount of time to yourself to question, is it worth it? Like, really make time to conversate with yourself and process the things that you really do take on for yourself. Because one thing I would say that, and I will admit, I have not been practicing what I preach in regards to writing stuff down. I will allow those things to sit in my head and then be like, shit, I gotta do X, Y, and Z, and it'll be 10 times stressful because it's mentally stuck in my head versus physically processing.
Just doing something productive to it.
Yes, productive things. So and that was a huge important thing. Because of course, in the middle of me doing the piece, we have friends from out of town, coming in and out. So for me, my home wasn't really much as a place to decompress. So even if that's not available to me, what could Rochelle do? Still, can I work out? Can I go in for a walk? Can I just sit 5 minutes in the park? Can I, just take a bath? What can I do to help reduce stress? Read a book? I think my body was like subconsciously leading me in that route. Like, I wasn't reading no books. That book just, like you said, it came to me divine, but it was like, okay,
sit down.
Why am I heading this direction? It was like, because there's some extra stuff inside you that needs to be exercised and processed out. Like you said, purge. Some energy is going to go productive, and some energy just needs to get out. And if it don't get out in a healthy way, it can manifest the way that I'm experiencing right now. So I share this with everybody. Please make sure you take care of your mental, your spiritual, your emotional health. Your physical. Everyone pays attention to physical, but they don't pay attention to everything else. So please make sure that if you want to make sure you have a hot summer vibe, that your mental, your emotional, and your spirit is in check. Because if it's not, your body will look like look like how I'm looking right now. You don't want that. I'm telling you. So get your stress in check. Make sure that you yourself are doing things outside your gift so that you could keep carrying it in a nice, calmer fashion. Be real with yourself. Say, can I carry this on? Is it really worth it? Do all those things, because I'm telling you, this is not worth it, and I'm still growing through it. But this is a load that I got within 4 days. It's been an eye opener, y'all, for real.
Well,
oh my God,
I'm happy that you were able to come on and talk this week. I know we were gonna figure out a way, but it's just nice to hear you. Because we weren't even sure.
And I think it's important too that you got to be able to unpack that bag, because that's all part of the process too. Like you have to process and purge through and let go. And I mean, yes, this is a physical manifestation that none of us has ever dealt with, and it's real brand new, and it's painful and it's uncomfortable, but you're doing a great job as always, Chelle, with finding perspective and finding balance and just finding a motivation in the midst of some real bullshit, you know. And speaking of in the midst, before Chelle goes, please make sure you're following her on her socials at Chelle86. That's SEE_Chelle, right? Is that how it is? Okay, so SEE_CHELLE86, and then follow her platform at InTheMidstJax_. That's INTHEMIDSTJAX_. You know, show our girl some love. Go find out what she's, you know, got going on over there. She'll be back.
She look like this for real.
She do look like that for real, y'all. She, I mean, she's much cuter, but like this is a very true depiction. Okay, and the eyebrows are giving. You got the eyebrows. I got the eyebrows down. This was drawn by me. I think
you did really, because my stick figure was big.
But she started as a stick, but then when you said put on a jacket, I was like, okay, well she gotta have pants. She just can't be stick bottom
with a jacket
on. That's ratchet.
No,
that's last week's episode. Don't be raggedy. Yes. She was not gonna be raggedy. So, yes. But we appreciate you, Chelle, for sharing and being here. We miss you, but
so much.
We're cutting you off now because you need to go.
You need to rest.
Do whatever it is that you can do to find comfort and rest and take care of yourself, and we'll tap in with you when we're done. But we're grateful for you, and we wish you a very speedy recovery.
Absolutely. We love you.
We love you. I love you too. Love you, Pete. Love you, everybody.
Just come from the back.
Papa Pete. Come on, Papa Pete.
Yes. All right, y'all. We're going to take our first break. We'll be back after these messages from the MPN network. Don't go nowhere.
Don't go nowhere.
Bye.
Oh.
Hi, this is Crown Riri.
And this is Mr. Al Pete requesting you to press play and listen to our podcast, Flowers for the Culture, the show that gives flowers to people, places, and things that have influence on the culture.
And we also remind the culture to give flowers now. Don't wait.
So check us out. Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. mpn-llc.com. Everywhere. We everywhere. Please check us out, y'all.
If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention.
If you want to be somebody,
if you want to go somewhere,
you better wake up and pay attention.
Wake up and pay attention. Listen,
Sister Mary Clarence was trying to tell y'all. I
jewels.
Remember.
We're dropping jewels. And you know it's timeless when it don't leave you. When it don't leave you. That melody doesn't leave you. We just told Chelle because her whole performance piece at La Villa looked very sister. It was giving sister act.
It was very sister act, like trying to win the competition to get the money to save the church school / neighborhood in the urban ghetto.
We need a cookout. We need a block party. We're giving dance battle. I love it when it all comes down to a dance battle.
I love it.
That was the thing about You Got Served, was that they were trying to make it sound so dangerous because the drugs were involved.
I know. And they could have just stuck with the dancing though, because that's really what we came to see.
And it got resolved
by a dance battle. Wouldn't it be great though if we could solve our problems in life with dance battle?
I think
that would be productive.
Me too. Or rap battle. Like, if we just solve it in music, like musical interpretation, and we can just solve our problems that way, I feel like the world would be a better place.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I agree.
Speaking of that, I think it was interesting when she was talking, we were talking about stress, right?
Yes.
And how stress, the extent that we push ourselves, the kind of stress we put ourselves under in order to show up.
The kind of stress, right.
Yes, the kind of stress. And it made me think of the most recent video that I posted, that montage. There's one clip. It's very quick, but it's in the part where I say, never been afraid, I'm the one now. And it's like a close-up of me, and my hair was green, and I was kind of like looking down. That particular performance we did, it was a festival in South Florida. And that Tuesday, that Wednesday, I was in the hospital for what I feel like was COVID at the time. This was before COVID was a thing. Yeah. Because I ended up getting sick. Remember, I think I told y'all about this? I got really sick and I had chest pains, the whole thing, right?
Was it that fall?
No. This was before. This was we met later that year.
Okay.
When you came and worked with us.
I got you.
But it was that summer.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah. So that Wednesday, we were in the middle of tour and we had a whole bunch of dates and I got really sick and I went to the hospital because I was like, the chest pain was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And mind it, y'all, this was right before COVID hit. So I swear this was COVID because it felt like the flu, the sweats, a bitch couldn't breathe.
Shit.
Yes, my chest. The thing that stuck out to me was the chest pain.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what this got to do with the flu? Like, I've had the flu.
You've had the flu. This ain't it.
This ain't it. And what was remarkable was the chest pain. Like, I was literally like, I couldn't sit up straight. So we ended up going to the hospital. And not only that did I have that, I needed a blood transfusion at the same time. So I went and had a blood transfusion. I think I had 2 of them I may have had 2 while I was there. I was in the hospital for like 2 days. And then I had this random ass flu. And then by Saturday, I was doing that show. and
I mean, did you feel able? You probably shouldn't have been doing that show.
No, probably not.
Okay.
However, again, it goes to show when it's something that, you know, you're a part of and that you have to represent and that you've created and, you know, and it also depends, like you said, you know, and you could easily be like, no, I don't want to do this. But it all, like, what ties into it is how much you want to do it.
Right.
Sometimes we don't give ourselves that time and you're like, no, I'm good, I'm straight. And I think
Until you're not.
I did that show, but it did teach me a lot about, like, that was my moment of, I gotta take better care of myself. Because I was in the bed by Wednesday. I was in the hospital bed on Wednesday, and I was on tour back on the road by Friday, you know, for that show for Saturday. And I was like, not 100% at all. And I text my friend at the time who was on tour as well, and I was like, am I crazy for doing this? This feels kind of like I must love this shit. Because the bitch I just hopped off the hospital bed to do this.
Like, I still have on my bracelet.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I just was not oh my God. But at the same time, I remembered, like, after that, while it was everything, right? I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, it made me look at myself and ask myself, very similar to what Rochelle's doing, the introspection.
Is this worth it?
What am I
doing?
How did I get here? Because first I'm like, okay, why did I need a blood transfusion? Because of not having iron. Why don't I have iron? Because I don't want to take it. Why? Now, don't get me wrong, iron sucks to take, especially at the level that I am at. However, like, who am I? I don't have anybody to blame. Didn't have nobody to blame for that. This flu shit is one thing. But it was other things that made me really, like, say, okay, Raquel, you have to take better care of yourself. Yeah. I've always been fairly good at it, but sometimes it takes situations of extreme
to knock you into some perspective. Like, okay, so you really think you're gonna keep burning this shit at both ends? Like, you really think that you just have this inexhaustible source of power? Okay. Like, we divine, but you're also still in human form. Yes. And you have to take care of this flesh. Yes. There's a thing that my mother calls it body cum dung in Jamaican patois, which basically means just your body just shut the fuck down. Like, you wasn't listening, so it's like, you know what, we just gonna turn off all the switches. Just boom. Your electrical wires off. Everything. Just shut it down. And that happens. I mean, even down to, like, the common cold, you know what I'm saying? Stress literally reduces your immunity. So it reduces your ability to fight off infections. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just biology. So when you think about the levels of stress that we get ourselves to, expose ourselves to, and persist, because stress is going to happen. Yes. Things happen in life. You've got outside stimulus. Like, shit is going on all the time. It's how you handle it. It's how you handle it. You know, and some days are definitely better than others. Like, it is part of my journey. It is part of my lifelong journey to understand how to manage and mitigate and navigate stress, because it's not going to not happen. You know? That part right there. It's going to happen. That is the key component, right? So let's start there. I feel like when we talk about stress, like, people be like, I just want to be stress-free, right? Yeah. Like, that's often the narrative of, like, I just want to be stress-free. Right. When that's literally impossible. Because stress, there's good stress, right, and there's bad stress. Exactly. So when you're coming on that journey of learning how to balance and accepting that it's going to be there. Yes. No matter what. Developing a relationship with stress. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't, like, not talk to her when she's in the room. Right. She's always going to be there. Because she will get loud. You can stand there and act like if you don't see that bitch if you want to.
Girl, loud and rude. And like,
just embarrass you in front of your friends.
She is like...
She's like, oh, so you don't see me?
Right. Hey, what's up? She'll knock over your shit. She'll push your purse on the floor. She'll block your car in traffic. She's just, you know what? And it's so funny because I talk to Stress like that. Like the other day, I was like, because I have like a little backpack purse, and I didn't close it, and like when I was walking to my car, I was like in a rush and everything fell out, and I was just like, really, bitch, like, and that's who she is. She's just like, what are you gonna do about it? And you're like,
but
I really want to fight you.
She forces you to slow down because you don't want to rush in with your bag open.
Right.
Like that's not my fault.
And nobody else is out here. No one else is out.
It's you yelling it. Who you mad at?
No one else is outside.
Who are you mad at?
No one else is outside.
Nobody.
It's me. If I would have took a second and closed my goddamn purse, we would have just
wouldn't even be in this situation right now. And some situations can't be avoided. Again, It's like the idea of being stress-free is a cute concept.
That's really sad.
I think that we should strive towards, less stress, minimizing our stress for sure. Because there's definitely a lot of things that I know I personally have taken on in the past. I have taken on. You hear that? I have taken on. Nobody dropped it off at my house. And even if they did, I didn't have to open the door. I've learned to
Why should you be driving wild and dropping it? I just see this real gross car, this loud car, just you be like
driving over your lawn, just tearing up all of your grass,
dropping shit off and leaving,
and just leaving, and you like, now I got to deal with all of this
and the grass.
I
just put it together, and it just fell apart. But I do agree. I think that's. I'm glad that you pointed that out because when we're talking about levels of stress, and especially with some of the points Chelle have made, and if y'all skip to this part, just saying, like you just wanted to get to the meat and potatoes of the episode, definitely go back and listen
because there's some good meat and potatoes there.
Yeah, we had meat and potatoes all throughout this episode. Yeah, because talking about our relationship with stress, and I definitely feel like Rochelle was operating with the intention of good stress, but that bad stress or that negative stress came right behind and was like...
Or I think just additional unchecked stress.
Unchecked, yeah, we could say that.
Because it didn't really seem like it was detrimental. It was just more than she needed and more than she was supposed to handle. Yes. And she was already open. Yes. And she was already stressed. Yes. And it just was like a domino effect.
I can agree with that, yeah. I think it was a matter of... Because like I said, her intentions and everything was there, right? But sometimes when it's left unchecked, and like she said, about having a file that doesn't fit, or when you're reprogramming and certain things have to leave, we can find ourselves back. Even when you're doing better, you can find yourselves in a situation where you're like, hold on, wait a minute. Yep. What am I doing? How did I end up back here again? Because mad. Because even though because that's facts. Because you're like, why am I here? But mentally, we could be here, but we're physically still operating on an old system. Yeah. Like we're in Big Sur and we're still in Mountain Lion.
High Sierra, whatever the fuck the shit was called.
2011.
Just real 2011.
And it's
with an operating system, and it's just like, you really want to try to run all these programs. You stressing me out. And you can't even upgrade it.
Oh, girl, I almost do this. You can't even update the one you have.
You can't. Because you ain't got no room. Because you need to defragment your drive. You need to clean out this shit. You don't even know it's there.
You don't even know it's there. And
you don't even know it's there.
I think that's what happened to her. And bless it, because she had all the intentions, everything right. She had everything she needed to upgrade.
And honestly, I'm not that I'm glad that this happened. I'm not. But think about the fact that if this stumbling block hadn't come, she would have kept going full force. Yep. This week in particular, because y'all are hearing this on Chee's birthday. Yay! Happy birthday, Cheese. But we've been like trying to put stuff together, and the family's doing this, that, and the third. And it's like, it's just, I feel like also May is just.
For the record, I don't even know what's happening.
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. But I do know that, like you said, and bless it, because she's trying to rush these blisters. But I love her for that. I love you, Rochelle. Please,
just take
I hope you
time.
watch this, because I need you to know that really meant a lot to me. Because I know if you could pull them off,
take the time that you need.
But you need to
pull them off and put them back on just so you could be
there.
So
you could be functioning.
So just so you can be at the function.
We'll make it up.
We have to. We're gonna have to, because I'm I can't talk about it.
Don't. We should have a night. We'll have a night.
We do need.
We need a night. We're gonna have a night.
We're gonna have a night, a post shingles night.
Post shingles. Ratata.
Ra-ta-ta-ta.
Ratata at all the shingles. But yeah, so I think it's just phenomenal the lengths that we can go towards productivity and we amaze ourselves at how we can overcome certain things, right? But
and it's almost like we take pride in the overwork.
Yes,
I've felt that before.
especially
Like,
as Black and brown women
run myself
too.
ragged. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I think
And
we're
then-
accustomed to that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because, you know, from little girls, you gonna have to rise higher than everybody.
Of course.
And you're like, bet.
I can do it.
Okay. Then soon it's like, oh.
Like,
Why is the expectation so high for
do
me?
I have to rise higher than everybody?
Yeah.
Can I just rise higher than I rose the last time?
Right. Why? And then I think that's a part of what she was, you know, because Rochelle was going in there representing
Yes.
her craft, representing her genre, representing also
Community.
representing us as Black and brown women, Black and brown bodies, Black and brown dancers. Like she was holding it down, right?
With the culture, for the culture.
That's what she does. However, again, it's that expectation of just having to surpass.
Yes.
And we can internalize that, and it, girl, sends us into oblivion.
Yeah.
And I know for me, having that experience during that show where it's like, okay, bitch, we're about to pass out. Let's keep it cute. We're not gonna headbang and jump off of the stage. We're not gonna do that because we shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, you know, like just like how she showed up, it's like it's important that we show up, but it forever changed. It was the start of the forever change in my relationship to stress. So I guess what I want to know, G, is like, because I feel like we talk about our lifestyles all the time and how different they are. So for you as a person that generally like that works from home, right? And it's her full time. It's our partner full time.
Like real quick. Like in
when
3
you said
days.
that, I was like, oh my God, how?
Oh.
I mean, of course, because she overachieved. Of course, this is where we end up, right?
I chose this.
But it's the same thing, like,
I
you
did this to
know.
myself.
But I want to know, as somebody who works full time, like from home, and then also your craft is very, like, it's with everyone, but like you said, it's very, also it's very like you in the control room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody over here. Like you're here, but you are, it's a very, for you to prepare is very you.
Yes.
So what has your relationship with stress has been when it comes to balancing that?
I've had to learn how to balance my stress in general, period. Just because I've always been a very high achieving, high functioning type. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think that, I think it's innate, because that's not something that if it's not in you, it takes so much energy just to do that when you're naturally inclined to do it.
Right.
So if it's not something that comes naturally to you, to get to that level of high functioning is just like, why would you even do that to yourself?
Right.
You know
Is
what I'm
your
saying?
mama like that?
She can be. Yeah. I mean, she's chilled out a lot, you know, more recently. I think, you know, the perspective that she reached with my dad and being his caregiver and caretaker through that, and just just the life.
Yeah.
It puts a lot of stuff in perspective. But both my parents were very
like
high achieving, high functioning. Like, and I think a lot of, we've talked about it before, just that immigrant mindset, you know what I'm saying? And just Jamaican, period. Because the rumors are true, y'all. We got like 7 jobs at any given time.
Filipinos too. Apparently,
we the hustlers.
What you mean, like 6 jobs?
What do you mean?
You don't have a 7th one?
What's wrong with you? What do you do?
You lost the 7th job.
So what do you do? Take a day off? What's wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like getting past the glorification of that, because it always felt like a burden, but it always felt like something to which I needed to aspire.
Absolutely.
And really just putting that in perspective and making time and space for me to just shut it off. And I have to check myself still, because it's so easy to fall into that pattern, and especially when, you know, you are working from them and you're making productivity, and I've got so many plates in the air at any given time, and I have to give at least a little bit to everything. By the end of the day, I'm just like, fuck. But I've gotten to the point now, and there's definitely times where I'll slip. Like if it's the unexpected stuff that triggers me.
Girl, yes.
Because everything, it's like the table is overflowing, but I know what's on the table.
It's when it.
But when you throw some extra
what dish
shit.
is this? I didn't ask for this.
I didn't
order this. I didn't order this.
This is not one of the 38 dishes that I put on my.
I didn't order this.
I didn't ask you.
Who ordered this? You're the only one at the table.
And that's how I was feeling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even eat all of this. What the fuck? But that's how I was feeling last week when things shifted with work. And I've already made my determination. I was like, I need to put in the work now so that I can manage this later. Because what I don't want to do is ruminate and exist in that place of stress, because that was me. High functioning, high stress, high productivity, but always up here.
Girl, because that come down.
Have you ever stressed yourself into like head and neck pain? I'm talking about just like a migraine. Just like I'm stiff and I don't even know why. Like I can't, I was at a point, and I mean, honestly, I can't even lie. Cause like if you touch my shoulders now, they stay. I need body work.
Right.
But I just to the point where like I had to force myself to relax my shoulders.
Like unclench your jaw.
Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath. Take a full breath. Breathe with your whole lungs.
Your whole lungs.
You can breathe with your belly. Did you know that? Belly breathing is a thing. Like it wasn't until yoga, I was like, oh shit, the breath can go all the way down there.
All the way down.
Well, and it should.
And it's not shallow. And I think a lot of times we...
Just, you know, so I don't know if I answered your question, but I'm just...
No, you did.
I've had to, it's a daily practice of trying to find that balance and maintain a healthy, like, the stress is going to come, but managing it and choosing not to let certain additions become the stress. You know what I'm saying? Because you can say no. You can say not right now. You can decide to not open the door when that bitch throw the stress on your front door. Like you don't have to take that on. And I think that, you know, we talk about it all the time, like accountability, taking accountability for what you do. Even Chelle said it. You're sitting there, she's like, I did this to myself. Like, I don't have nobody else to be mad at.
Yes.
And even though she might not have said, okay, I'm going to personally manifest shingles because I'm going through this shit, the body is reacting, but it's still about...
It was definitely a place she didn't order. And it showed up, and she's like,
and it's real in the middle of the table.
She
can't even enjoy the other shit that was there.
She got to clear the whole table
because I got to deal with this plate.
Yep.
And you have to deal with it.
You have to.
Or else you're going to have to build stuff around it. And now you got shingles in between all the shit that you want.
Yeah.
You know.
What's crazy is the last time I could think of where, because when you were talking about that neck and migraine,
you did have a moment. So you go somewhere with that.
But let me say, the last time I was that stressed was right before I was pregnant. We were in the same situation, right?
Yep.
And I remember
that, yeah.
I remember how
it was bothering you.
How it felt. Like, that was the last. And mind you, I don't let shit get to me like that unless, like, I was invested in it. Like,
right. If it's close to your heart.
I was telling this to my partner. The other day. During a conversation we were having, and I was like, if I don't give a fuck about it, you'd never hear anything about it, right?
Facts.
I don't give shit to nothing that I don't care about.
Because why?
There's no reason.
Who has time?
But the thing about me is that when I do, and when I am invested, you get everything.
Full force.
Because I don't half-ass shit, right? So I think about that particular time. And it was, like I said, hold on, not before I got pregnant. It was before I knew I was pregnant. I was pregnant, okay?
I do remember that week. And that was during, like, you were still protesting, and there was a lot going on.
And that is also, you know...
heightened stress. High stress.
High.
Whew. Just by proxy.
Activism is a very high stress. And I haven't... sensitive. Yes. Girl, all of things, like, at an extreme level. And the way that I contribute myself to the movement is vocally. It's through, you know, my platform. It's through me expressing and the needs of my people. And it is also a high functioning place. And it was all happening at the same time. And after I got pregnant, or after I found out I was pregnant, I had to walk away from everything because I realized, okay, I cannot be this stressed and pregnant at the same time. Because how I felt during that situation and how it landed on me, I was sick to my stomach. Like, I physically was like, this is, whoa. And knowing later on when I found out that I was pregnant, I was like, I cannot move in this place.
Right.
And again, sometimes it takes certain situations.
I was just gonna say,
for it to land on you a certain way.
For you to see it different, it's like, okay, now the stakes are different.
Because before, it's like, you know,
it's just me. It's fine. I can kill myself with stress. It's fine.
You know, activism for the people, right? Like, I can do it. But the moment I found out that my daughter was there, I was like, ooh, I gotta think about her.
Yeah.
And it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking about everything I'm fighting for, but I'm fighting for her. So she can coexist in a world later on. So I had to like, just cut everything back. And even now, like my relationship with such a high anxiety, high stressful position in activism, I'm constantly revisiting it, trying to figure out how I can go back without depleting. Because that is the one thing. I'm sorry. I was about to like, you see my fist? I'm like, what?
Because it sounded like they was coming in.
They finna come in. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yep, y'all already know what it is. Mr. LP, MPN Network, Mr. Peterson's Neighborhood, and yep, we are recording in MPN Studios, and yep, we have a noise disturbance. And have a sign out there. I have no clue. But you enjoying the show, so we finna get back to that thing, all right? To the top. Yeah.
So back to what I was saying. Really get back. Okay. But like I was saying, I have to re-examine my relationship with activism. Because I would throw myself in the line of fire. Yeah. For the movement. And of course, you know, if you can do, you know, and like we always say, like, and I would always say, you know, your position is whatever it is. It's what's best for you. Yes. Don't, and especially to my Black and brown peoples, like to us, don't throw yourself in a line of fire, because if it's not your capacity,
if you don't have it,
it's already a battle that shouldn't be yours in the first place. So I'm very, very, very sensitive to that. Like, don't, and if anybody asks you to, they're trash. However, as somebody that was able, now I have to re-examine what that looks like for me, because I have a daughter to care for now. Right. And she literally is a like direct connection from me to her. And when I'm stressed, she's stressed.
Yes. And she doesn't even understand it. No. Like her body is just, she's so sensitive and so close to the source.
She just knows.
That she just knows and she just feels. And it's like, what am I exposing her to?
That, even in the womb.
Especially.
There was two times I got really upset during my pregnancy, and it was like getting angry like that or getting stressed that way versus by myself was like, whoa. Yeah. But what it did for me was, child or not, it made me very aware of like, okay, what are we doing with this? Yeah. Like, because I don't want it to go here. What are we doing? What are we doing? Right. It like made me stop it at the door and be like, okay, whoa, hold on before we get there. Because we can get, you know, I feel myself ready to fight. But it's like, hold on, you can't fight pregnant. What are we doing? What do we look like?
You can't fight.
You can't hop on the Sentra.
No,
like, we're not barefoot. Barefoot, we're not doing it.
No
Keep your shoes on before you run outside. Throwing up a set. Like, what? Where are we going? You know. So, I feel like stressing the importance of how inevitable stress is, but also how possible it is to manage it. Yeah. And I know, like, now I think it's harder than ever. Well. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's harder than ever. I would say it's just more in your face than ever, especially with COVID.
We have a very unique set of circumstances.
Yeah, because the stress with COVID being so invisible, like
what's so present,
what that adds, you know, and like we're having to wear masks, staying home, touching things. Like, I mean, we should have been aware.
If you're in Florida, having to worry about nobody wearing masks anymore because they just decided that COVID was done.
Just decided. It's over.
Finished,
we outside.
Y'all. I don't know if y'all knew, but it's over.
We outside.
Ain't nobody wearing masks in Florida.
Nobody's wearing masks.
Except smart people.
Right. And it's stressful. It's stressful.
It's stressful
when you, and then
I choose to avoid that stress by staying in my house.
You know? And then when you think about why are you stressed? You're thinking about your mom.
Oh yeah.
We're thinking about, you know, our family members, children. You know, I have 2 girls that I take care of now, thinking about what comes to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like how selfless that stress is, though, because you're not only thinking about yourself, you're mainly thinking about everybody else.
Right.
So it's like, where do we find that balance? Because even then, that in itself, even though in COVID terms it's good, but in other things that's not always a good thing to be so thinking about, you know, like it's like I can't say no, because if I say no, then this person and this person and this and then this is gonna happen, and it's like wait, in this case, like, are we taking now, does that become a point of adding to the stress that's already been given to us versus, like, did we invite the bitch to drive to our house? Did we call her?
Did we call her?
Or did
she show up?
Because it's a different experience when you call her over, because she come inside.
Exactly. And you called her. You did it. But when she just shows up, you don't have to let her in the house.
Yeah, you should drive by. And you could be like, no, it's okay. It's and then even then you can fight her at the door or whatever, right?
You know what I'm
She'll try
saying?
to come through the back or through the window. There's ways. But sometimes we invite her in. Sometimes we invite her in and we don't realize it. And that's through the form of being nice, being like being like, okay, being accepted, like just that sponge thing really
having unestablished and unreinforced boundaries. Because it's one thing, we were talking to a friend of ours this past weekend, just discussing her journey, development. We were talking about boundaries because she is also, you know, a light worker, very much a healer, very much empathic, very open. But she's on that part of the journey where she is experiencing people who are not approaching her with the same level of awareness and compassion that she is.
Wow.
And I don't know what her placements are, but I just sense a lot of fire and indignation. And that's not, you know, shade. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
So it makes it very difficult to deal with when people are not doing what they quote unquote should. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you've got to, we were telling her, it's like part of your journey is learning to establish those boundaries. You can't do anything about the way other people feel, do, say, think, but you can control what you allow into your space.
Absolutely.
What you allow yourself to be exposed to, where you allow yourself to be and be part of. And it's the same thing with stress. It's like, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
And it's gonna be ignorant.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that you have to take it on.
Yes.
And that's not easy.
Yes.
Especially when we're, you know, socialized by default to take other people's shit on, especially if you black.
You read
especially
my mind.
if you're a black woman. Black or brown women, we're here to bear the burden.
You read my mind, because I was just thinking about how far that goes. Like,
it's so deep.
I literally was just thinking about that. Like,
it's
damn,
so
this
deep.
goes so far back for us.
And that's why it's important shadow work, but that's why it's such deep and difficult shadow work, because it's like, that's coming. That was here before we even got to the door.
Let me tell you, you know, my bonus daughter, she's 8, right? And me and Rob talk about this all the time, about how she doesn't like Barbie dolls or baby dolls. But I was like, or would never play with a baby doll, because why would I put my daughter in a position to take care of a baby when she's a baby? Why is that's placed on us so early to be a mother?
Yes.
Like,
take care of, learn to dress and feed, and why? I am this.
They're literally those dolls where the baby is like, you can feed it the bottle, and then it's the whole thing.
You gotta change the diaper. Should be crying and stuff. Like, why are we adding this layer of stress?
Have a baby. Take care of a baby. But that's directed towards girls.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking that, like, damn, like, as black and brown women, like you said, we're here to bear the burden. But, like, even on that level, that subconsciously, like, automatically tap into your nurturing. Give.
Be here. Support. Supply.
No, ma'am.
It's not just you.
No.
Take care of everything outside of you first.
Girl,
if yourself at all, ever.
She might not even want that. I'm not going to put that on her. Like, what the hell?
You know?
I never understood that. And we're selflessly just automatically put in a position to give. Automatically put in a position to be of service. And then, like we were saying, like, you know, when you're young, this is the odds that are against you. You know, my father would say that to me and Rochelle all the time. Like, listen, this is the way the world is. I'm just keeping it real. Yeah. That this is going to be.
And good on him for preparing you, because, you know.
But God, why? like, it's just like, as a child, you're like, you know, like, I want to play Batman. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know that.
Some Legos.
I want to be the bird.
As if that means anything. It's like, why can't the child just gravitate towards what they... Maybe she wants some baby dolls. Maybe she will.
Maybe she will. But what I don't want is to reinforce.
Right.
Like, it's that
the need of, this is your place. And this is what girls do.
This is what girls do.
Down to the point where even if you have a boy child that gravitates towards that, it's like, not only is that taken from him, but he can be punished or made to feel a certain type of way. Like, that's not what you do. Well, why the fuck not?
And what that does is add stress. Because as an adult, that shit reinforces itself and it manifests into something. Because we're often, and that's such a subtle example, but it's just automatically when you're the older sister, older sibling, automatically caregiving, caretaking, you know, usually, you know, the oldest siblings or, you know, the ones that end up taking care of the family, end up being very, very selfless, but also high functioning and stress.
Yep.
You know, it's often, you know, the ones that really are, you know, my sister, she was like that for me. You know what I'm saying? Very, very looking out for me, making sure I was okay. However, she's transpired that, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And she was doing a lot of those things during a time when she wasn't necessarily being looked out for or cared for. So not only is she in a position that she didn't need to be in, but she didn't have the support that she needed to just develop in her own childhood.
Absolutely. In order to and that's another thing too, when it comes to stress and understanding the relationship that you have with stress, but also understanding your relationship with other people through that stress and how they are able to support you. I think sometimes we think stress is just such a personal, which is true, but it affects our relationships.
Oh God.
And how we maneuver in them and how, you know what I'm saying? How we receive love under stress or don't receive love under stress and how raggedy that look. You know, when we are under stress, and that goes back to that emotional decision. When you're under stress, girl,
triggered.
What emotional decisions? Everything is burning. Like, I grabbed this is fine. I grabbed those matches. Like, I'm the one who set it on fire. Like, that's the shit, you know? That's what stress does. But how it causes us to move in our relationships and how it can affect it on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And it can really transpire into very negative things. But on the other side, stress can be very good because it teaches us how to move under pressure. And that's where resilience is born, you know, perseverance.
And lessons can be learned from anything, even the negative experiences. Because again, just like Chelle said, you know, this is not going to happen again. She's determined.
Yes.
You know, and that's the same way that you can look at the stress that happens to you. Even if you get swept up or carried away, it's like, you know what? I see how I fucked up.
Yes.
Not going to do this again.
Yep.
Now I've learned.
Yep.
Silver lining.
Silver lining. And let me be clear, reiterate when we're talking about good stress and bad stress. So like a good indicator of good stress is adrenaline.
Yes.
Really, really good indicator. Like, you know, it's like under pressure, but we're moving. We're going.
Being productive, but not depleting.
Not depleting. Like a bad indicator or indicator of like negative stress is anxiety.
Yes.
Sometimes we get adrenaline and anxiety very confused. Because it's like, okay, going, right?
They're not the same.
No. And it's up.
You don't find out till it's too late.
I wish you could see my hands. And if you're watching, you can see.
You can see.
This is like, it's the meat. And you're getting in. This is how you get into your relationship with stress. Because, you know, you think like, oh, I'm popping, I'm moving, let's go. Whole time you're high functioning. Like in your anxiety and your anxiety is fueling, you know, it's that nerve, oh girl, nerves. Oh, almost do this. Rashad, I love you. Because your nervous system, your nerves are like, that's what's driving the car.
Yep.
Bitch, like adrenaline is your unleaded. Like you need that. And you're moving on your, you know, like that.
Fuck around and put diesel in your shit.
Girl, just be
shut down on the side of the road looking crazy.
Let me tell you something. Ooh, you know what? I gotta say this because how we respond to stress. Because you know, like when you can respond wrong to stress.
Do I?
And just how it does nothing for you, right? And you're just like, why?
It makes it worse.
Let me tell you, and I'm gonna reference this. Back when everybody was last week, when everybody was panic buying gas.
I'm so tired of y'all.
Panicking.
What you doing with all that gas?
Let me tell you too, because
Did you put it in your car?
Did you?
I hope you didn't run out of what was in your tank and then go back to the gas station. I hope that you put them 17 tanks of gas that you put in the back of your car because you was worried about what was happening in the middle of the damn country.
And listen,
it didn't have shit to do with you.
Nothing. This is a perfect example of
y'all.
when you take something that got to do with you and you just completely take it on. I'm like, Palestine is going through it over here. And y'all over here filling up Tupperware with gas, grocery bags, just going crazy. And I'm like,
Ziploc bags, fish bowls.
I was like, you know what?
These people, and you know what the crazy part about it is? Like, all of that was happening. It was like chaos for 3 days. And my car was sitting in the back of a little parking area, no gas in it. I was like, well, I get gas if and when I can. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, run out? Oh my God, I got the gas now. Bitch, where you going?
The only reason why I was at this gas station because it was blinking at the last bar.
And you was outside.
I was outside. And let me tell you.
And you needed to get gas.
I'm watching everybody. And mind y'all,
did you have to go to like 3 stations?
I went to 2. Where I live right now is
wealthy.
It's wealthy, okay? We're in a wealthy area. However, like, observing the wealthy and their response to stress.
You're wealth adjacent.
Cause listen, I was like, I'm just going in. Everybody's stressed out. This man had to be about 75 G. I swear to God, could barely pick up the gallons of gas that he bought. Putting in the back of his Lexus truck, his 2020 Lexus truck. I'm looking like, is this where we at?
I hate you.
You don't even go nowhere. Like, I can tell you don't even go nowhere, sir. Your car is pristine. It's white and pristine and clean. You ain't going nowhere. Your tires are
brand new.
Smooth.
Perfect tread.
Perfect. You ain't been nowhere. It's black. Like, it's not even like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not even dusty.
Where you going? Buying up all this gas. And I'm looking around. Everybody's stressed. And I went, and the guy was like, I was like, do you have any gas? And he's like, all we have is premium. Now, mind you, I drive a Prius. It doesn't take premium. Premium can damage the engine.
Yeah.
What'd you say about getting the wrong damn gas? Because you're stressed.
Fuck
now,
your whole shit up.
If I was high functioning my stress, looking around at everybody,
you'd be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm
gonna put the premium in my car because I was like, okay. I was like, okay, well, and I had, what started was I had swiped my card and was trying to get gas
and nothing was happening.
So I was like, okay, just return it back. It's fine. Like, I was like, I swiped it and it felt like it was like, so he was like, let me make sure it doesn't go. Whatever, you're fine. No gas. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the racetrack next door. They had gas. Everybody's freaking out. I'm just watching everybody. Like, let me just put in this cute little $15.
You know?
Everybody's freaking out and stressed. And I'm just like, do they even know what they stressed about? Like, do they even know what's happening? I don't think so. Everybody's just responding to everybody else's stress.
That's the part. Everybody's just responding. Something has happened and you're responding. You're not taking the time to think.
Yes.
You're not taking the time to do any research.
Nope.
You're not taking a moment to just breathe and reassess the situation like, okay, maybe I don't need to freak out.
Yep.
And now you got all this damn gas in your house. Flammable. Just a hazard.
It's the grocery bags for me. Why?
Were they really putting gas in
Yes. There's videos of people
grocery bags, like plastic Target bags,
where it can disintegrate right on through because it's
y'all
gasoline.
Are dumb.
Yeah, there was one video Rob showed me where it was like a holy basket, and this woman was trying to. I said, "We going to hell in a handbasket." I don't.
Y'all are the same idiots that bought all the toilet paper last year.
Yes,
like,
but it's the same thing. It's like, why? Why?
Because people are stupid.
Let's take a minute. And so, like,
people are fucking stupid. I'm upset.
The only time
grocery bags.
Yes, grocery bags. I seen one brother, and I'm brother.
I'm mad at you.
He was filling up different things in Tupperware, like little ones, big ones.
My question is how are you gonna get it into the car? Because the gas tank, the regulation gas barrel, the thing with the spout,
right?
That is the means by which you get the gasoline into the.
Right.
How were you just gonna pour it in Tupperware?
Girl, he was trying to get that gas by any means. But that's what happens when you take on other people's stress. And it had nothing to do.
Worried about shit that don't have nothing to do with you.
No, at all.
They're 1,000 miles away in the middle of the country.
The only time I feel like it's okay to do that is when you see Black people running and you just run.
Oh, of course. That's without question. That's not even stress. That's just smart.
That's the only possible stress-induced situation that I will follow without thinking.
We can find out later.
I'll find out later. I'm not going to stick around. I'm not going to inquire. I'm just going to run.
I don't need answers.
But for something like this, I just remembered looking and I'm just like, everybody is so stressed.
And the shit was resolved in like 3 days.
Nothing
happened.
The guy in the gas station was like, we got gas. He's like,
I know he was tired.
Yeah, he was like, we have gas. And I was like,
There's plenty of gas,
please
y'all.
15 on pump 1, thanks. And he's like, and I said, I know you're tired. He was like, look, I don't want to, and it's like, but this is why it's important to not take on other people's stress, because you could easily, like you said, put in the wrong, like you do wrong by yourself. I could have easily put that shit in my car and
you just got that car.
Just got it.
And fuck your whole shit up.
If I was stressed,
running behind stressed out people,
I would be like, oh my God, I got it. It's okay. It's premium, but I need gas because there's a possibility that we could run out. And no. I was like, I'm just going to go over here. For some reason, it just felt like, and I feel like under stress, possibly I'm like, of course there's no gas over there if there's no gas over here. I was like, let me drive over here. It's only 8:00 in the morning. Everybody's tripping. I got time. Let me just drive over here.
I'm mad that everybody was going that buck wild at 8:00 in the morning.
The wealthy.
That's when you don't have nothing else to worry about, but that's a whole different
Girl,
episode.
y'all ain't got nothing else to do. And guess what? Like, there was gas.
When
for
gas
everyone.
is your biggest stressor.
Right.
I wish.
Right. But that's what
I
happens.
want those wealthy white problems.
That is a wealthy white problem. Because when
not enough gasoline for my Lexus truck.
Swear to God, that man was shy of 80.
I hate him.
Like, he literally looked, he's about to fall over trying to pick it up. I was like, bro, this, and I was trying to get it. I was trying to record it, but he somehow moved too fast. No. A car had parked. I was about to say, how did I not get that? Because he was moving slow. But a car had driven like right there. Because I was just like, how? Like, bro, you don't even move fast. Like, what are we doing?
Doing?
It's important to realize, and I love metaphors because it's a really great way to see it. When everybody's freaking out or how everybody responds to stress. And honestly, I think since the country has undergone what's gone, especially under our past, we won't never speak of his name.
Never. But
45, the level. The
psychological mind fuck.
Girl. That, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, to be completely transparent, I mean, this country's always been a level of stress for us. This was just asinine. Like, it was just to the point, right?
It got dumb.
And it was like, when you, the stress was almost like, is this necessary? Am I stressing myself at this point? Like, what's happening? I think it's important for everybody to make sure, like Rochelle was saying, like that your mental is in check with your spiritual and your physical, because we're in a world where clearly anything can happen and anything goes. So it's important for ourselves as a collective, but also as individuals, to honor ourselves by doing what we need to do to be better responders of stress. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love watching Hoarders. I do.
I saw that in the chat. I was like,
I love my shows.
That's you processing. That's your veg out time.
It really is
decompression.
Dog,
let me watch these people with all their problems so I can just.
Bobby, he be like, babe.
It's a lot. I don't know. Hoarders is. I'll watch that with you, but that show stresses me out. I'll be stressed watching that show.
Let me tell you though, a crazy thing is that a lot of it is. Not a lot, but completely self-induced.
Oh, of course. And a lot of it is a psychological manifestation of the shit that you are not dealing with.
Yes. So when you're looking,
like the man with the dogs.
Yes.
I love that episode. I'm so glad you showed me
Animal Hoarders,
because the rest of them piss me off.
Right. But this one. So this was like this is like
with the rabbits. I was so mad at her.
We're talking. Girl. I gotta see if they got new episodes. But this one was like house hoarding. Like things.
So stuff.
Yes.
Tchotchkes, knickknacks.
Yes.
Garbage.
Yes.
Food.
Girl, like straight trash. And the ones that I've been watching, like the homes are like 4,000 square feet.
Oh, it's
3 stories. Just
I'm so angry.
Yeah.
You don't deserve it.
You don't deserve it, right? So when you think about
give it to me.
Give it to me, because I'll take care of it. But when you think about that, Like there was this one episode where this family ended up losing their like home. They're like, and I don't mean like their current home. I mean like the home that was passed in their family.
Oh no.
Their generational home, due to this one woman who wasn't a part of their family, by the way. Her response to stress by hoarding. And when you see your stress when you see stress in a physical way,
yeah,
that's why it's so fascinating to me, because it's like they're responding to the stress that's like overwhelming them by obtaining things they can control.
Yes.
By finding comfort, by like the things are so much more to them than just things. And oftentimes our vices become that when we undergo stress. Yep. The things that we tend to, the crutches that we have. And I think it's important
our trauma responses.
Yes, to stress.
Yeah.
Because you can even, as to like trigger yourself back to a point so pivotal off of just having a bad day or,
oh girl,
stop
talking about me,
girl.
Why are you so loud?
You end up going so far back. And you're just like, how did I get here? How did I get so far?
Retrograde is good for that.
But like,
I'm tired.
I want everybody to, whoever is out there listening, to think about your relationship with stress, because as we've been saying this whole time, it's inevitable. And that's what a lot on that show, it's like life is going to happen, like
life is never going to stop lifing.
Yeah.
And I think the moment that I accepted that was a turning point for me. Because, there were a lot of little things that were leading up to that and different pitfalls that I'd found myself in and fuck up situations that I found myself, ways that I made myself sick, all kinds of stuff. But when I was just like, you know what? Because I was just like, if I could just take a break, if life could just, and it's like, life is not going to, so what are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to continue in this state forever and ever?
If life
or are you going to change your perspective? Because life is not going to do shit but life.
Yep.
And that's what life is here to do.
And oftentimes there are people, and we ourselves can blame. And that was this one woman, she was doing it like, girl, her shit was like 8 feet tall. Like they were literally crawling up.
No.
And through.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't.
I could point you to the episode. Girl, literally, the moment they opened the door, a mountain,
Bitch,
right?
You need to be ashamed of yourself.
Her response, she had a moment in the middle, like, when they were getting rid of her shit, and she was victimizing herself. And the guy was like, you keep victimizing yourself. Like, why do you insist on like saying this is happening to you? Like you are the driver. This to
yourself.
He's like, and he kept reiterating, like, I have to keep telling her that you are the driver's seat.
Here.
You are in control of this. Like, why do you keep victimizing yourself? She was like, well, maybe I'm a victim. Maybe that's what. And he's like, no.
No, girl.
You're not.
You're nasty.
You're just not. You're just not. You're nasty. That too, girl. Because a lot of our hoard was trash. I never understand that. Like, why are you hoarding trash? Like, that's old pizza boxes.
I'll be so ready to I can't stand stuff. I'm the opposite of that. Like, whatever the opposite of a
I'm going to die
is.
by the bleach fumes. Like, I'm passing out. Because I can't breathe.
But my place is going to be clean.
I can't breathe. Like, I can't breathe when it's too much. Like, my stress response, and I think especially when I was pregnant, my response to stress would be to clean.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta prepare.
Fix it.
I gotta
put
prepare.
it together. Something has to be
folding,
organized.
moving, rearranging. Me and Rochelle both have that. Like, Rochelle, you'll turn around and her whole room is ass backwards. It's just like, I just had a day. And I'm like, okay, well, it's cute in here. She's gonna laugh when she sees that because it's true. And it's like, okay, let me just. I'm stressed.
You know what I'm saying?
You know why? Because this is looking at me in the face. So let me just. Now I feel better.
Now it's better
because I have activity space. Like. And it's like it make you, but that's good. That's also an example of a possibly good, I guess. Response, right?
That's a positive response as long as it doesn't,
Extreme.
wander into the obsessive, which
very easy to do.
That can happen.
Yes. So it's safe to say that you're remembering that you are in control of how you choose to respond, because, like you said, life is going to happen. And stress is one of those things that you have to develop a relationship and you have to get to know.
Yeah.
Like you have to know how y'all are together. Do you work well with your stress? It's like stress your homie, like, okay, bitch, we're down to the line, like down to the wire. Okay.
Like, you can't get your day started without me. Or is stress like part of the day that it's like, oh, let's move around that. Or let's use this to our advantage. Okay, we're stressed. What are we going to do with it? Or
stress like, girl, remember you got to do this. Okay, thanks, girl. You need to make her your receptionist. Can we make stress our receptionist?
I think that'd be a great place to put her.
She's really great. She's been doing that for me because I to be able to balance her like aura in school and like album and things, I've had to make her my executive assistant. Like, okay, what's bothering? Like, what do I need to get done? Hello?
Yeah.
Like on the phone. Hello? What'd you
like,
say?
No, we're gonna deprioritize that. Move that up. No, we're not getting to that today.
Read my list. Read my list, please.
Treat stress like your personal assistant that you are in charge of.
Yep.
You can tell her no.
You can send her home.
You can send her home. You can tell her no. You can thank her for her service.
You can fire her and hire somebody new. You can hire a new secretary. You run this, okay? Devil Wears Prada. You run this. You are that.
Find you an Andy.
Find you an Andy.
Okay. Sometimes Emily is just too much. Emily was stressed. She was stressed. Emily was so stressed that she was falling. When she said she ate a block of cheese, I was like, bitch. Okay.
Where's Andy? Get Andy on the phone.
Get Andy.
Get Andy on the phone.
Talking about she's a size 8. Okay, girl.
I gotta watch that again.
I love that movie so much.
Sister Act. Okay, Sister Act 2 and Devil Wears Product. We're doing it.
Watch night.
We're doing it.
If y'all are listening and you watch either one of those, hit us up on Twitter.
Please,
let us know when you're watching.
Please, because
Let's have a moment.
Now I want to go back and watch them. I really, really do. But yeah, like it's just. I think it's important for us to highlight that everything that's happening to us or that's happening within us is all interconnected, but it's all relation.
Yes.
It's all relation. It's all about how we interact and interweave and navigate. It's all things that we can just be outside of. It's nothing that's a part of us, but it's something that
feels like it.
It feels like it. But we can interact with it. We can put it down, pick it up.
You are not your stress.
No.
You are not your trauma.
No. And stress, she's rude. She's loud.
She don't care.
She's not.
She real ghetto.
She's just a mess. However, she can be handy.
Barefoot. Cracked heels.
Cracked heels. Ooh, that dry cracked heel. The ones that we showed in the commercials. I hate that.
I hate
like, whose heels are that? Whose heels are that?
Is that what your heels look like?
I don't think I paid.
If you stressed out, then your heels is cracked.
And you need to do a pedicure.
You gotta smooth them out. Soak them, paraffin, something. Treat your heels better.
Why is stress with cracked heels? But stress is cracked heels. It's that aggravated. Girl, I hate. I will scrub. Listen,
I've never come close to a cracked heel, but sometimes when it just be like,
yeah, rough. The skin's rough.
Ooh, hold on.
No, ma'am. I've been ignoring
pumice stone. We're not doing this. I've
been ignoring you, girl. I got you. Scrub.
You had a very good reason. I think it's very fair to say that there was a good chunk of the last year that you probably didn't even see your heels, girl. It's not your fault.
Right, that's true. That's
not your fault.
There was a moment where I wasn't seeing my feet. And now I can see her.
You can see them. They still cute. Don't worry about it. Girl, just need a little TLC. It's fine. That's all of us. Sometimes you forget.
I'm getting used to the fact of being able to fold again. There's sometimes where I'm still like maneuvering like I'm pregnant.
It's like, hold on, that's not.
We're not slow. There. We're not slow.
We can do it.
What are we doing?
I feel a good read coming.
Me too.
I feel it. I've been feeling it.
I'm excited.
All right, y'all. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back after these messages from the MPN network with this read. The cards always find their way into the message, so I'm very eager because stress. So yeah, we'll be right back, y'all. Don't go nowhere.
The Groove Suite.
This is Ashley Art, and when I create my art, I listen to Sunday Vibes with Christina Curates.
This is DJ Miss 10, and I'm listening to Sunday Vibes with my girl, Christina Curates.
The Groove Suite.
This is DJ Foundation, and I'm listening to Sunday Vibes with Christina Curates.
This is Mr. Goodbar of the Remedy, and I'm listening to Sunday Vibes with Christina Curates, powered by the Groove Suite.
The Groove Suite.
Sunday Vibe.
Check out Christina Curate's Sunday Vibes, 9 p.m. on Sundays on soundofduval.com.
So, of course,
we're back to the read, y'all. The spread. Chelle has... She has been vibrating since she pulled these cards. She feels it in her body. So just before we get into it, please make sure you're following her at Crafty Hoco. That's CraftyHoeco on the gram. Last week's reading is there. We successfully got it up. All technical issues aside, it's dope as fuck. Prepare yourselves.
Because this one right here.
Like,
I really, if you are into this, please follow, interact with me, because y'all, I'm a vessel and it's a lot. And that's another thing too, like coming back to readings, I'm taking my time because the amount of... I'm
proud of you too, because I know you were feeling like an obligation almost to jump right back in.
Yeah.
And you were just like, nah.
And spiritually, it's a lot. There's spiritual stress that comes with that, you know, because we're talking about...
Can we talk about the spiritual stress?
We're talking about people's lives, you know, and they're coming to me with consult. And this is like something that a lot of people, it's like outside of their element. And they're like, can you help me through this? And while I'm like, sure, it's taxing. This message is like literally like coming off of me because I did a 3-card spread. And sometimes y'all know I'll switch up the spreads all the time because I go with what I'm feeling. And I thought 3 cards would be good. This is the 3rd episode of the 3rd season. I felt like cards would be great. So I use a Medicine Woman deck, and then I use my Black Moon deck because Black Moon, she's going to snatch you bald. And the Medicine Woman, she just comes and reads, right? So this, let me just, we're going to start here. Again, usually with the 3-card readings, you can do what hurts, hinders, solution. And so usually that's the main things that I ask. It's like, what's hindering you, what's helping you, what's holding you back, and what's the solution. So when we're thinking about what's hindering us and what we might be experiencing, depletion.
Wow.
First thing I pulled up is a 7 of Earth, depletion. And if you see the card, it's very much, it's literally what the card says. It's about letting yourself run dry, not nurturing yourself, not taking care of yourself.
It's like a sunflower stalk. There's no color. Even the roots are stressed because they're looking gray and dry.
Yes.
None of the petals are flourishing. There's probably a bird of prey, like some kind of scavenger bird, like perched on it. It's real dusty. And
it's
real raggedy.
Mind you, I love to read the original text for the cards because, and I know people like to flex without it, but which is fine. But I like for you to understand that as an intuitive reader, like where it's coming from is from source, but also when you get backed up with the words, it's like, okay, this is what it really intended to mean. So referencing the text of the 7th of Earth card, in essence, this card means depletion, exhaustion, setback, power dips, disappointments, doubts, fear of loss. Expecting something increases our chances of being disappointed. Stay in this moment, completely conscious in the present, and be very still. Give yourself a little more rest at this point. Don't project your negative thoughts into the future. The outward manifestation is this: the fear of ending up as a nobody in the material world and therefore never getting enough paralyzed your creative power right now. When we think about why we stress ourselves, the grind to shine, the grinding, I gotta do this and I gotta. James Baldwin said, what is your dream job? I don't have one. I don't dream of labor. We live in a society where it's constant, right? Expectations.
To the point where if you're not, people are like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly. But where does that put you and your levels of stress? Don't waste whatever energy you have left on unimportant activities. That only hurts and distracts you further from your path. Depressive tendencies are strengthened by tightly holding on to your already stagnating energy. Your most essential lesson now is to give. Give without expecting nothing in return. To get the life force moving again, be willing to let it go. Having to get on less than full capacity can sometimes be very instructive. Learn to be happy with less. So when we think about how much we take on, why we undergo the stress so we can have all the things and we can do, you know, when at the end, like when I was talking about with hoarding, they taking in all this stuff, having all of these things, all this materialistic things for what? None of it even means anything.
Until it becomes your prison.
It's your prison. You are trapped, literally trapped by the things you cannot let go of. Undergoing constant stress, completely trapped by the things that you cannot let go of. Jesus. And you're just stressed, constant level of stress. How am I gonna do this? How am I do this? I can't see, I can't breathe, I can't move. And we do this psychologically by hoarding, you know, things that no longer serve us, you know, the programs that we've outgrown, outdated, all the shit we talked about, y'all. This is what it depletes you. It literally depletes you. Stress can deplete you to the point where your life force isn't moving. You're stagnant.
Diminishes your ability to protect yourself.
Period.
It breaks your immunity down.
Period. It pulls your immunity.
Depleted, just ashy.
And what's crazy is that the next card that I drew was the moon, and this represents your unconscious. This represents everything in the subconscious plane of your existence. This is your intuition. This is, you know, just your acute sensitivity. This is like your sensory. This is your intuition. It's just your instinct. Your instinct. It's everything that you don't see.
Yeah, you're intangible. Why do I feel like
because your emotional pendulum tends to swing from high to low and back again, making it a bit more difficult to function. The moon advises you to pay close attention to subtleties. Learn to use intuition throughout your day. Relaxation and meditation will help, since nervousness and hectic activities smother the intuitive promptings constantly arising from deep within. Okay? Thoughts may do some of the necessary groundwork, but it's the inexplicable spark of intuition that makes breakthroughs possible. This is a good time to connect your rational aspect with the vaster realm of the irrational. And it says, if you don't criticize yourself and allow your energy to move, all discoveries, all inventions and revelations can come from the so-called dreamy realms beyond logic and indeed beyond conventional thought. So a lot of the times, it's that emotional pendulum that's swinging back and forth, and how it triggers your nervousness and triggers your anxiety. All of those things. Allowing yourself to trust what you don't know and what's moving beyond you, because we love to insist that we have control over everything when really we don't.
Control is an illusion.
Control is an illusion. What are we talking about? And my Taurus is like, what? Excuse me?
My Capricorn.
It's like, girl.
And Scorpio, like,
excuse us. Scorpio's right there with me too, girl. That's funny. We'll discuss it in the car. Listen, we don't have control. You know what I'm saying? And when you have these two things together, we're talking about the stresses, you know, the depletion in your unconscious mind. You know, what do we need for this? How do we navigate this? The ability of learning to trust yourself, trusting something that's beyond you, your acute sensitivity, your acute, and I have to say that because your acute sensitivity is your instincts.
Yes.
It's what senses, I don't like this.
Yep.
This doesn't feel right.
Yep.
I feel off.
Yep.
I'm not comfortable. This is overwhelming. That you have to listen to yourself. You have to, otherwise you're going to continuously deplete.
And the best way to listen to that is just like mentioned in the write-up, relaxation.
Yes, meditation, being still.
Meditation, being quiet. Like you can't tap into that place if you're doing all the things and being stressed and being, you know, caught up in what is depleting you and drying you up from the outside. It's like, okay, I'm dried up on the outside, but there's still something here.
Yep.
Where is this coming from?
Yep. And the important thing,
just like you have to get to be friends with your stress.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, or the stress that's in your life, you know, don't claim her, but she is there. Acknowledge her. You have to get in tune with that inner voice. That's the only way you're going to get better at hearing it.
Absolutely.
When it calls out to you. Because shit is wild out in these streets.
And when you look at depletion, it's inside and out, all the way around, everything.
Them roots are dusty.
You can't pretend.
You can't. Even the soil is tough.
You can't even do it. There's
the sun ain't even out. Everything has given up.
All stagnant. And when we're talking about the unconscious and how beautiful
and abundant,
how free,
fertile,
limitless, right? The ocean is vast, it's deep, it's our inner sense of knowing, it's us trusting and just this can easily infiltrate that and make this, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what do? Where do we land? And how do we marry these two together? How do we save one from the other? Healing. I almost threw this card. When I pulled it out, when I saw it, I was like, when she fell out, you didn't see it, but I was like,
I didn't,
bitch. Because Miss Black Moon,
she comes together.
She's gonna read healing.
Number 8 as well.
Yep. And let me tell you, Rumi, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Healing must take place before you are able to deal with your matter. Chiron is the blending of old energies of Saturn and Uranus, meaning just don't throw out the old. There is wisdom there, but you should also embrace the bold and the new. When this card turns up in a reading, it can indicate health matters or issues of a medical nature may be of concern. This matter may have to do with health concerns, most especially any emotional healing that is needed at this time. You may find yourself visiting or having interactions with health facilities or any place that has to do with the healing of mind, body, and spirit. That's why I told Rochelle she needs to be here. This is also a matter of time of teaching and learning. Certain sorrows of the deep past may be surfacing, so be careful of repeating old patterns. They will tend to resurface unless faced directly, and if not faced, the pain will continue. This is an awakening time where you can resolve things. The symbol for Chiron is a key, and this card says that you have the key to open the right doors at your asking. To do this, you will have to work with the wounded and your wounds in some way. If this is true, now it's time to save yourself and others. And what is crazy is I literally said this today. I said that you save everyone when you save yourself. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like,
I saw that.
Yeah. When you save yourself, you save everybody. Because it's not that you don't expect anybody else to do it for you. That's how you help other people, when you help yourself and you encourage other people to do that for themselves.
And you cultivate your own abundance so that you have what you need to give. But in order to do that, you have to take care of yourself. And sometimes that means stepping back. Sometimes that means shutting down. Sometimes that means not doing so that you can do. When it is time to do.
Absolutely. And let me say this. It says, this is a card of great transformation. Therefore, in many ways, you are rising from the swamps. Chiron's energy says that once we are able to heal ourselves, we can also take this gift or wound and learn how to restore others. We can mend our wounds when we embrace, process, and understand the gift of illness or dysfunction. Chiron is also an expert in alchemy, which gives us the ability to transform the mundane into the marvelous. So what's fascinating about that is when we're talking about how we can take control of our situation, how we can take depletion and turn it into healing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How we can take depletion and transform it by understanding it, by getting to recognizing what's happening.
Yes.
Developing a relationship with it so it can be abundant like the moon. So it can be limitless. So it can be vast like Lil Mama in the picture. Okay. Just underneath the moon with the wolf man, wolf dog. You know, they having a moment. To all the possibilities. How do we turn that depletion into this? Is through healing.
Yeah.
Understanding your relationship with stress and what is triggering you to take on everything, to do everything, to be that person for everybody because I gotta whatever.
One of my therapist's favorite lines is, "Who told you that?"
Who told you that? Oh my God.
Just shut down the whole conversation. I'll be like, you know what?
I don't know. Who told me? I don't know who told me.
I have no idea.
Because my therapist would say, who said that? So who's saying that? That's what she would say.
Yeah.
So who's saying that? I'd be like, what? No. Who? I'd be like, you know what?
I don't even like you right now.
This is virtual. I can hang up. I can get off.
To do this with you.
I can get off Zoom right now. I'm not playing with you. But this is the girl. I can't say it, but Chiron is the key. The key. This is the whole key. Okay, to get from depletion to your unconscious, like that faith, that unwavering faith, that that acceptance, that freedom, that ability to just go, you know what I'm saying, into the deep dive and not be afraid to be able to handle stress, whatever. You have to go through your healing first. You have to understand, how did we get here?
Yep.
How can we get here?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The water is ever present here. That's what you need here. You're thirsty, dry, broken down, raggedy girl. You know what I'm saying? Just dry, ash, crust, like, girl, this like got burned. You know what I'm saying? It's like I had a fire. You know what I'm saying? We are thirsty. We are thirsty, bitch. And here we are. Healing is the key. Like, and healing sometimes being still, taking a step back, asking yourself, what the fuck? Why am I angry at this? Why do I like want to get out and fight somebody in traffic? What is that?
What is that about?
Who is that? Why am I so pressed? You know, or why can I take an extra time to close my purse? Why did I feel like I had to rush? You know, or like, why is it that when I have a deadline at work, like I'm about to lose my shit, why can't I get it together and be like so-and-so that I admire? Ask yourself those questions. So this understanding yourself is also a part of understanding your stress. It always comes back to you diving a little bit deeper, and it's scary for some, but it's what we need to do to survive.
It's where the healing is.
It's where the healing is. Because you can be here. Stress can make you like this, or it can have you going howling to the night. And girl, I want to be her.
I want to be her. It looks really
with her
nice
little starfish and crab friends, just
all her
her dog talking some like they singing together, girl. Underneath, beautiful night. I want to be her, but in order to get there, you have to do the work. You gotta do it.
That's it,
girl. That's it. That's it. And that's all. Chelle. That's not new. I told you, girl. I'm over it. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
When I seen this, I said, okay.
When I saw her grab the bridge of her nose, I was like, okay, yeah, it's about to be real.
Here we go.
We're here.
We're here. Yep.
I don't know. I don't have nothing else. I feel like,
wow.
I'm just here. I'm grateful.
Me too.
You know, I'm always grateful for the opportunity to process and just even things that I might not be feeling myself at the forefront, but to be able to relate and just be like, yes, I understand that. And then recognizing it in myself when maybe I didn't realize that I was in a more stressful place, you know, specifically with what we're talking about here. Like today, I was definitely high functioning. I wasn't spiraling.
I was going to say, you did better than...
Because last week was the spiral. But that was all of the unknown monkey wrenches. Like just 5 plates just showed up on my table that I did not order.
Yeah.
Okay. And nobody wants them.
Right.
And now I'm like, okay, I'm managing it. It was still a little bit more, you know, but we did what we can. And sometimes that's all you can do. Just do your best every day.
Do your best.
You know, check yourself.
And you want to ask yourself, am I looking like this?
Am I depleted?
Am I depleted? Before I'm taking on everything, where am I? Because this is to me, this is kind of what high functioning looks like. We're so used to not being dry or being ran out. It's like, okay, it's fine.
But I'm still standing. I'm still here. I don't have no pedals, but you know.
And you know who this bitch is? The nerve of this crowd. The stress.
Just on top of
your branch a little weak.
Like, yes, bitch.
Well, excuse me?
How dare you?
Just, girl, you okay? Okay.
Like, I hate you.
That's fine. On that note, you know? But yeah, girl, in the healing.
In the healing.
This was good.
It was. We're going to call it there. I think, because I feel like this whole episode was a final thought. Just
It is. There's no...
It was like the pre-main chorus and then like, you know, the
Yep.
Just like together.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining, for listening, for watching.
Yes.
If you're with us on the YouTubes, thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe. Follow us on all the things. Find us on YouTube by search TNT Podcast, right? That's it. I wrote it down.
That's it. Okay,
and then everywhere else at TNT PODJAX. You can email us at tntpodjacks@gmail.com. Remember that today is Kel's birthday. It's Chi's birthday. So hit our girl up at all of Chi ALLOFCHE. Drop some ducats. Find a girl Cash App. Do something nice.
I'm gonna love my Cash App because I'm on abundance for my birthday.
Yes, abundance for
Please.
your birthday.
Drop it down.
Yes, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Join me tomorrow on live. I'll be streaming The Vibe from The Vibe. It's late. I'm tired. The Vibe with Energy live on Twitch from MPN.
Yo, I was like,
day after this comes out. So Friday.
I was like, tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm late.
It's fine.
Oh my
God. Fine. We're working through it together. And send love and, support to Chelle at Chelle86, at In the Mitch Jacks. Just love on her. Send good vibes. And if you have some tips, if you've been through it and you know something she can do for relief,
please
let a bitch know.
Let her know.
Because
we need
while we're dealing, we still have to deal with the flesh. And she is
together.
going through it, y'all. So please keep her lifted. But that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us again. We will see y'all next week. Don't be raggedy. Don't be raggedy. Don't be raggedy.
Got your
got a whole lot lady shirt.
I'm not bringing that back. Got your whole lot shirt.
Got shoes all in dirty.
Y'all like that though. That was bars, okay?
Therapy Not Therapy is produced and edited by Mr. Alpete on the MPN network, and the intro music is courtesy of Wes Harris. The song's name is Chamomile, and that's tea.
That was good. That's tea.